Yes, yeah, not right. To this.
Okay.
Three a quorum.
Yes.
Okay, I'll use my knuckles. Call the meeting to
Here.
order.
Okay.
Uh, We'll have roll call
Glenn Speed,
here.
Christina Manetti,
Here?
Joanne Cooley,
Here, you think we need to check if Beth's out there?
and Beth Campbell.
She sometimes comes in late.
Let me go quickly. I can check.
I was gonna
Have it
run.
unlocked, but
You want me to
okay.
run?
Yep.
How's the racing, Christina? Did you hear?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I was asking you how the racing. is
Oh,
doing.
the racing. Oh, that's why I thought you weren't talking to me, because I didn't expect you to be asking about racing. Well, you know what? Last night it was much better.
Oh, you ought to live on Stilican
Okay.
Boulevard.
No, it was still, it was
Drag racing every night, every afternoon, early in the morning, through the
Really?
night. Anyway, we'll
Yeah,
go back to being
mhm.
on a call to order. Any changes to the agenda, or anybody have any exceptions? Hearing none, I guess the agenda's okay. Approval of minutes from February 9th. I didn't see anything that needed to be changed.
We keep those.
So-
I can get it when I-
All those who would like to accept the minutes. Need a,
I move the minutes from the prior meeting be accepted as submitted.
okay, and I guess I'll second it, just to keep things moving along. All those in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Hi.
Okay, an aye. So,
Yeah.
okay, any announcements tonight?
No announcement.
No announcements. There's no public hearings. Reports by the Historic Preservation Office.
Yes, so the first one, staff wasn't able to get in contact with the Nisqually tribe to do any review of the Turing map, and as discussed in the last meeting, the February 23rd meeting, the board members agreed to move forward with updating the Turing map if there's no further contact. So attached to the memo was the marked up Turing map that was done in September 2021. And then we can review that later for any additional changes. And then so going forward with the Turing map update, I will give everyone a full month to provide me comments, any last minute comments to go on the Turing map. Then I will
Okay.
send it for revisions, a draft that they can provide us for another review.
So that won't go in until,
Yeah, I'm gonna give
Another
a
month.
full month
okay,
just to make sure we have every last detail.
okay,
Heritage Tree application form. We have finished the Heritage Tree application form, which is now available on the LHAV webpage. Historical property development forms and fact sheets. We've come across that we needed to update and have more information provided regarding the guidelines and help sheets and updating our forms to make it more efficient and helpful for everyone. So we're in the process of updating these forms and the matching with
I
US
know,
Department of Interior.
I just got the booklet, you know, the Lakewood
Mhm.
quarterly booklet, and I noticed there was an article about trees and the new application form. So are these conjoined? Are these all, are we talking on the same thing as that?
Well, in the form of just the heritage tree.
Oh,
We have a
oh,
whole bunch of
that's
new
right.
forms for
Okay.
the other trees.
For the other trees, we're just talking heritage trees.
Correct.
That's what I,
Correct.
okay.
And those are ones that are defined as heritage
Heritage
Right.
trees,
individually.
yes.
Okay.
I do have something to comment about the heritage
Fortunately, you're cutting out, so
Just
we're
tree-
kind of missing what you're.
Uh-oh. Can I inter? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk. We'll.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, the Heritage Tree Program, I don't know what the form is like yet.
Okay.
But is there any specification of what types of trees? I mean, the reason I ask is because Councilmember Brandstetter mentioned that he would like the locust trees on Fort Stolcombe Park property to be heritage designated as heritage
No.
trees, like for sure, because they were planted for or by or in memory of the wife of the original head of the hospital, I think, or something like that.
We heard all the way up to the
Extremely
heritage part.
invasive.
Okay. Yes. So we're.
And then there's another problem similar, because Mr. Brunstad also mentioned to me the memorial oaks, and he wrote to me and he said that it would be a good thing to include in the new heritage
Uh-oh.
tree
Yeah.
program these memorial oaks that are planted, the baby vine, but the problem is that they're crossed with the Gary oaks, which would of course degrade the genetic stock of our Gary oaks. So we don't want to be like designating heritage trees for invasive and detrimental trees.
So the forms do not, currently the code and forms do not specify the type of tree at all. But it requires a arborist report, and it would come to the board for recommendation. So that would be where I would suggest that conversation happen at the moment. There's nothing right now in code. It's just a blanket statement of heritage tree, a tree with enough history and size to be important. But the actual nomination process requires a board recommendation to council anyways. So at that time, you would know what tree it is, what type of tree it is, and then you can provide that recommendation and why to the city council.
Right. Yeah, it might be if any kind of literature is made about the heritage tree program, like when people are considering, designating them. I mean, it should be kind of outlined at that time so they don't get their hopes up that, I mean, they should be informed. They should be informed ahead of time, I guess.
Right. We don't have anything really yet for the heritage tree other than the application. So going forward, we can also maybe provide a statement on a fact sheet about invasive.
Yeah, good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm working on a whole bunch of these different forms and fact sheets. Right now, someone's coming in. I'm going to jump to the upcoming certificate of appropriateness applications, but someone is forget which boatman house it is. It's the 6,112th Street. They came in for solar panels, and they also have reached out about replacing their windows and replacing their gutter. So we don't have many forms and guidelines on those. So I've been putting those together to help us going through. So hopefully we'll have that next time.
They have wood gutters now.
I'm not sure which gutters they have at the moment. They just mentioned they want to remove their gutters, and since that's an exterior thing, I was telling them that a certificate of appropriateness would be needed.
Well, Lakeville Gardens were putting on wood gutters, which were there originally. at some point
Oh,
in
right.
time. So I would think that that's more appropriate than aluminum.
Right.
Uh,
So when I get the application, we'll look,
Okay.
I'll have that, all that detailed for you, but they've submitted the solar panel ones. So I'll be at the next meeting, getting that ready for you to review. And then hopefully going forward, these forms and fact sheets can really help guide these in the future too.
It will, it's an aside, but it will be interesting to see with changes in policy regarding buildings and
Mhm.
codes and things and what we must have
Mhm.
as opposed to what the historical perspective is with regards to
Right.
landmarks.
Okay, yeah, and I know that the building code has specific exemptions for historical
Oh,
buildings.
it does. Okay.
Our building official, just in general,
Mhm.
because that's what comes up, and I came a lot with the Lake Wald, specifically with
right.
the building interior stuff. That they're currently still working through that process.
Yeah.
But that also gives you the update on the certificate of appropriateness applications that are likely coming in.
Okay.
So that's all I have to offer.
Okay, then unfinished business, the touring map.
So I just put this in the agenda just to see if you guys wanted to discuss that now. Or if you just want to take the time to provide me comments later.
Well, I think if we just do a final look at it,
Mhm.
I got the copy that you sent, and I had thought of potentially some other old road names and things like that,
Mhm.
but I hadn't really settled on what ought to happen
Okay.
in that area. So if we got a 1 month review cycle,
Mhm.
and then we come in with whatever our final
Mhm.
opinions are, and then go to the printer, and then I suppose they're gonna come out with a draft copy that we would again approve probably a month later,
Right.
and then we go from there.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Christina, does that sound okay to you too?
Yeah, I just was wondering, are we're at the point that where we're not making changes to the text anymore, is that right?
We're not requesting anymore from Nisqually Tribe or anyone else. It's just our last review before we sit in. So if you do have text changes, I will take any changes for 1 more month.
Right, okay, that's what I thought I heard just now.
Right.
Okay, good. I will bear that in mind and review as necessary. Thank you.
And if you need a copy, a hard copy, I can scan that and get you a hard copy or a brand new one.
That would be great. You can do that.
Yeah. And
Really,
I'll have Karen probably reach out to you.
Yeah. that's super.
And I go, if anyone needs a hard copy, please let me know, and I can definitely get you that.
That would be great for me. And then I can spread it out and get a
Right.
good light on it.
Yeah.
I think I can work with the electronic version that we have in the packet, yeah? Thanks.
Okay, Little Church on the Prairie update.
This was just for Christina if she had any updates.
Oh, okay.
Right, no, they didn't contact me again. And I don't think that we're going to get any, we're not going to get any interest from them. So nothing from me.
Okay, I'll take it off future event agendas for now.
Any new business coming up that we need to know about?
Only the just the certificate of appropriateness coming out in the next meeting.
Okay.
And I'll send a staff report and everything before, like last time, and present on it.
Okay, we're about to, another comment, we are about to finish up the historic markers on Woodbrook Country Club or
Horse.
Horse. Yeah. And also
Hunt Club.
the plaque on the bird Cemetery, which is on Phillips Road.
Road, mhm.
And what I may do is mark up the map for those two items.
Mhm.
Although Woodbrook Hunt Club is already
Should be.
already
Should be on there.
listed, but we could also indicate that there's gonna be a historic marker.
Speak to that.
Okay, so that's the only thing I had. And, any other comments that anybody has for this meeting?
I think as we're getting to the last.
I have a different. So, Ms. Cooley, I didn't understand. You think you're getting what?
No, go ahead, Christina. We were both starting at the same time. And
Oh, okay.
so go ahead.
I'm not sure whether this is the moment to bring it up, but I have a question about the Old Settlers Cemetery that apparently the city is going to take over from Pierce County at some
Okay.
point. Is that something that concerns us? I would have assumed it does.
Well, it has a historic marker. It was owned by the county, and I'm assuming from your comment that it's being turned over to Lakewood. Is that what you were saying?
Right. I'm not quite sure about the time frame, but that's what I understood. Like the process is underway, I think. And yeah, I don't know whether we need to do something about that. Include it in some way, like assess it, coordinate. I don't know, since probably it falls under our purview. It was brought to my attention that there are rather rare oak prairie plants there. And so apparently people are taking the necessary precautions because they want to like fix up the cemetery, as I understood, tidy it up or whatever. So they're going to be careful about the plants that are there. I don't know, chocolate lilies maybe? I'm not quite sure which ones there are. So I just was wondering whether we had to.
Go ahead.
No, I just was wondering whether we have to get that Old Settlers Cemetery on our radar since Lakewood's going to be dealing with it.
Well, I think the big thing is maintenance.
Mhm.
If Lakewood takes it over, I would assume that the Parks Department would do the grounds maintenance. I'm guessing, but that seems likely.
I have not heard about this yet, so I will reach out. And
Yeah.
provide you more information at the next meeting.
If that's not the case, then we're gonna have an overgrown cemetery, which is
Mhm.
then Lakewood, and so Lakewood can be burst to death and
Right.
everything in between.
Mhm.
Okay, that's all I have. Anybody else have any other comments?
Nothing. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It might be a good idea or something to consider on our own time and as a time is available, when we get the map, before we do our very final approval, to take the drive that the touring map covers and just see how it feels in terms of what we can see, if there's any roadblocks, and I mean that figuratively, not literally. If there's any roadblocks to being able to at least have a vision of what was there when it's something that we cannot drive to or visit specifically. But I think we did that way back when we had pages of places we could go, but because we drove all through
Mhm.
Lakewood as a group and took a look. And but that seems like 20 years ago, or it's probably
Yeah.
long, but I think it's time to have a look at it from the view of the people who will use the roadmap and
Mhm.
follow it. it's always easy to look at it from 30,000 feet, but it's another thing to be on the ground.
Yeah, on the ground, I can see that there are some problems. A couple of them that come to mind is like Thornwood.
Mhm.
You can't go in to see Thornwood. It's on the map. And there's a historic marker that's supposed to be at the gate, but it hasn't been installed yet. And so there's a number of places that are like that.
Mhm.
The Griggs house is another one.
Right.
It's mounted on a street up above the house, and it's not visible from there, although people can go down the driveway if they're so inclined, but it's probably discouraged. So there's a number of things like that are difficult to drive to.
Mhm. Yes.
So I know that the Woodbrook Hunt Club is the historic monument or marker will be inside a chain link fence because they're trying to protect the building and the marker, and
Mhm.
so it's open during the event times and meeting times and that kind of thing. But there's a lot of those kinds of things that are on the touring map that aren't readily noticeable. And I don't know whether it'd be a good idea to have those in the text for each of those things.
Mhm.
Maybe just a short comment saying not immediately accessible.
Okay.
Like for Thornwood
Yeah.
and Woodbrook and
Right.
Right, I thought that maybe that's what was meant when it said, for example, the private residence, that
Yeah, it does have
That's
that
private
general statement.
residence, you can't really actually get to it.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's all I've got. Any
Okay.
other final comments? So,
So the Hopkins house, it's going to be struck from this map, right? And then all the numbers will have to be adjusted. Oh,
Mhm.
oh gosh, that's a bit of a pain, isn't it?
well,
Let's-
the option that they have is they could go with a community landmark designation, which carries no official weight, and they can remain without change other than maybe a text change. I don't know that it says a designated landmark on the map, but
Maybe we should ask them, no, before the map becomes final.
yeah, that'd be a good idea. I don't know the people or the phone numbers, so, but it may be in the,
In the
in
document.
yeah, in the document, although numbers can change through the years. So that document is right close to cityhood. No, 1999. Well, yeah, 1999, I think is the date of,
We should have also the documents from when they denominated.
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Oh, okay,
right.
yeah. Well, that might be something well,
yeah,
you could at least send out the information to us and we can try.
right. Yep.
Because that's officially supposed to be armed, although you can be
Mhm.
welcome to do whatever.
No, I can.
Well, or at least, or
Make it
even
record.
just send a
Well,
letter.
you can-
Send
you-
them a note.
Yeah, you could also explain a little bit more from the city's standpoint.
Mhm.
That this is not a full up designation situation, that still have city recognition, but no legal requirements
Mhm.
attached. Okay, well, I think I'm talked out for tonight. Any other final comment? Next
No,
meeting, the next meeting is April 27th,
Mhm.
2023. And We'll see you all at that time,
Mhm.
and I will declare the meeting closed. Okay.
Okay.
The recording has stopped.